Alright, Star Wars fans, here's how you know I like you guys. I am down to my final 5 Dagobah boosters, and I am going to open all of them up for you here today on this episode of Minutia Minute. So before I dig into these Dagobah packs, I just want to take a minute to say thank you to all of you guys who are watching. I know there are a lot of new eyes on the channel from these card rips I've been doing, so I hope you guys enjoy the content. There's all kinds of different geek culture things going on the channel week to week. I talk about Batman comics every Tuesday when they come out. I talk about movies on Sundays. Fridays, I'll typically have an unboxing. So if you're interested in any of that content, please be sure to subscribe. And I'm also on Instagram now, so any of you guys who have been asking about if I'm on Instagram, the answer is yes. Just Minutia Minute, one word, will take you to my Instagram account, and you can feel free to follow me there too. So similar to what I did with the Hoth expansion, I thought it might be worth taking a quick look at the rules supplement that comes with the Dagobah booster box. A couple big changes to this set. First up, these are actually 9 card expansions as opposed to 15 card expansions, which is why I'm going to be opening all 5 of them today. And then also you'll notice on the back when we get to the card list that we no longer have different tiers of rarity. It's just rare, uncommon, and common, as opposed to R1, R2, R3, etc., etc. So a lot simpler, a lot more collector friendly, which is certainly a plus. As far as the actual rule set goes, the main thing I remember about this set was we had characters that produce their own force. So if you have Yoda in play, for example, he allows you to draw more cards than if you just have locations in play. There are additional rules for playing asteroid field cards. Similar to the Hoth set, there were just variable rules based on how those locations were played. The same thing with cave cards on Dagobah. One of the things that everybody asked when this set came out was, where is Boba Fett? Which it answers it right here in the rules supplement. Most of the bounty hunters and their starships and weapons seen in The Empire Strikes Back appear in this expansion set. Boba Fett makes his debut in the Star Wars customizable card game First Anthology as a white border preview card of the black border version coming in the special edition expansion set. And for some reason, I thought he actually showed up in Cloud City first, but I guess Decipher probably knows better than I do, so there you go. Now, of course, we're primarily not here to talk about rules. We're here to open up some expansion cards. So, let's dig into the first pack. These are actually a little harder to open because they're so thin, only being 9 cards deep. Now, similar to the Hoth set, this is going to be a little bit of a learning experience on our first pack. I do remember that at the back, we've got this advertisement, and behind this advertisement is our rare card. It looks like it's going to be an effect. So I'm going to set this off to the side for now, and then we'll take a look at the cards in the set, which I believe are going to be 5 commons in the front, and then 3 uncommons in the back, followed by the rare, which is right over here. Okay, so first up we've got the Executor main corridor. This is another, I think, new rule, which is basically a location for a vehicle. The Executor was big enough of a ship that it had its own locations with the blue borders around it. I don't remember what the rules were for placing these, but I think that's new to the Dagobah set. Alright, we've got an effect. He is not ready. Deploy on any character, subtracts 2 from that character's training destiny draws. And that was the other thing is, I don't remember the exact details, but there were rules for Luke Skywalker training to be a Jedi that got you benefits or something. I don't recall. One thing they eventually introduced into the game was like specific goals that you could compete to complete, which helped kind of focus the different card sets because there were so many rules and so many different things you could do that sometimes people would just be playing completely different games depending on what deck they had built for themselves. I don't remember if that came about here in Dagobah or if that came later with the special edition in Cloud City. I think the special edition is where that actually first showed up. Alright, we have another effect. There is no try. Alright, we have Lost Relay, another used interrupt. Moving to attack position, Lots of interrupts and effects so far. Let's see if we can pull some characters or something a little bit more exciting in our uncommons here. So our first uncommon is the big one, which is basically a giant asteroid location. Asteroid rules in effect here, it says, so referring to that rule supplement. This is the Imperial version. All right, and then another interrupt. Found someone you have. If you have a character of ability more than 4 on the table, use 3 force to find one of your missing characters. Okay, and then last uncommon is a Jedi's Strength, Jedi Test number 2. So here we go. So this is part of that training Luke to become a Jedi. I never messed with this, so I can't really tell you guys how it worked, but there were a series of Jedi tests that you would have to go through to complete that either made you more powerful in the game or caused you to win the game. I don't remember exactly. When the special edition came out, they really expanded on this as a concept and created various goal cards that worked well with various different deck types from various expansions throughout the set. All right, so then that just leaves us our rare card, which is, drumroll, Rikar's Run. Deploy on a big one, which we got the big one. X equals twice the number of asteroid sectors at the system. Target a starfighter at related planet system. When reached by target, relocate Utini effect to planet system. When target returns to system, lose Utini effect. Retrieve X force. So I believe this is basically just a really complicated way of getting cards back from your lost pile into your deck. All right, pack number 2. Let's see if we can get something other than interrupts and effects this time. Okay, so we've got our rare in the back, which I will set aside again. And then starting with our commons, we've got an asteroid field card. Those rebels won't escape us. A used or lost interrupt. A Dagobah training area. They'd be crazy to follow us. Used interrupt. A droid sensor scope, a device. I could have sworn this card was in the Hoth set, or I guess a very, very similar card. There's definitely a card for the attachment that R2-D2 uses on Hoth when he's trying to search for life signs of Han and Luke. Wraithal. That is a planet I have never heard of. Leave me a comment if you know what this planet is from. Is this just created for the card game, or is this early expanded universe reference? Kind of an interesting first uncommon, at least. All right, finally a character. Lieutenant Venka. He worked hard for a transfer to the Executor. One of the many non-commissioned personnel promoted to replace the vast number of officers lost during the Death Star disaster. All right, and then last uncommon. You do have your moments. A lost interrupt. During a battle before any card has been forfeited, cause all attrition for both sides to be reduced to 0. All right, so that just leaves our rare. Drumroll. Okay, that's pretty sweet. So we just pulled the Executor. By the way, I'm referring to it as the Executor, and I actually understand that it's supposed to be the Executor. I've always called it the Executor, and it's just a verbal tick I have, so please forgive me down in the comments below. But yeah, as you can see, this is a wicked starship. It has its own locations. It's a really, really cool card. Really excited to be pulling this out of one of these packs. This can add unlimited pilots, passengers, vehicles, and starfighters. Has ship docking capability. Permanent pilots aboard provide a total ability of 3, and it's immune to attrition less than 12. The flagship of Death Squadron, over 8 kilometers long, it carries 38,000 troops, can conquer entire star systems by sheer intimidation and terror. Lord Vader's personal command ship. Really excited to be pulling this card in one of these packs. That is a very, very cool pull. Fun fact, if you want to learn the mystery of how this ship was built, be sure to check out the old newspaper strips by Archie Goodwin. There's a whole arc in that newspaper strip in which this vehicle is getting built and the rebels are trying to stop it and they fail. Ultimately, it shows up in the movie Empire Strikes Back. Alright, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to pull something better than that, but we sure are going to try. Opening up pack number 3. Okay, looks like we've got a light side rare this time. Set that down there. And then going through commons first. Knowledge and Defense. Insert an opponent's reserve deck. When effect reaches the top, it's lost, but opponent may not initiate any battles for the remainder of their turn. Cool. We've got a Minok, which is a space creature, and this is like a different type of creature than the other creatures we've seen up to this point in the game. Sorry, off the top, I don't know the rule sets for these particular types of monsters. Alright, we've got Blasted Varmints, Visored Vision. There are a lot of effects and interrupts in this particular set. Moving into attack position. And then we've got our 3 uncommon cards next. Awesome, okay. We got a TIE Bomber. It's a cool card. A great look at this starfighter, by the way. You don't get a good look at this in the movie, but this is a great representation for it. If you were buying these card packs back in the 90s, it's a great way to get a closer look at this model for sure. Because fleet orbital bombardment often destroyed entire cities, the double-pod TIE surface assault starfighter was developed to allow more precise and controlled targeting. Since when do the Imperials care about controlled targeting? Alright, and to go along with that, we've got proton bombs. Deploy on a bomber. When present during a force drain, may target a related interior site. Awesome. That's kind of cool that we pulled those together. And then next up, we got Yoda Stew. During an opponent's turn, take up to 4 cards from your hand and place them on top of your force pile. Alright, so a couple kind of fun uncommons there. Let's see what we can do with this rare. So it looks like it's going to be an effect. No disintegrations. Use 2 force to deploy on your side of the table. If a rebel of ability greater than 2 is lost, not captured, during a battle involving an opponent's bounty hunter, opponent loses 3 force. If Vader is on the table, 1 bounty hunter involved in that battle, your choice, is also lost. I'm sure that's great. Super complicated. As always with effects in this Star Wars CCG. Alright, we are down to the last 2. Okay, it looks like our rare is going to be an Imperial card. Separate that out. Hard to separate those out without giving it away. Okay, so our first common, a dangerous time. Used or lost interrupt. Defensive fire. Here's some great flavor text. 275 gunners manning 60 turbo laser batteries provide a wide firing arc. Even so, asteroids are a challenge due to the sluggish recharge rate of the high-powered blasters. First world problems, am I right? Okay, we've got a Comm Chief. Always exciting to get a character in this set, seeing as we pulled nothing but effects and interrupts with a few vehicles sprinkled in. The Comm Chief adds 2 power to any starship he pilots. When piloting a starship or combat vehicle, that starship or vehicle moves for free. Cool. Alright, we have an encampment. I'm trying to remember what this diamond shape means. So taking a second glance at the rule set here, new deployment restriction symbol. Some cards have 1 or more diamond symbols in the card title. The number of diamonds indicates the number of copies that both players together can have on the table at any given system. So if you have more than one system, you can have more than one of the encampment cards. But if you only have one system, you're only going to see one of those cards in play. So it's different than the ones that have the little bullet next to it, because the bullets indicate how many you can have in the game total. All right, and then our last common is Jedi Test number 1. All right, so the first of our uncommons is another Executor location. This time it's the control station on the bridge. You have your moments. I believe we saw this one already. And then another big one. That's another thing we get, is plenty of asteroid cards. This is the light side version. I think we pulled a dark side version before. Don't quote me on that, though. All right, so that just leaves our rare. Okay, promising. It's an alien this time. Okay, this has been a great round of picks. We've got the Bounty Hunter Zuckus. He adds 2 power to any starship he pilots. He can move for free as a react. Once during each battle, can use 1 force to cause 1 alien of ability less than 3 at the same site to be forfeit equal to 0 for the remainder of the turn. He's immune to attrition less than 3. And then the flavor text on this one's kind of interesting. He's a male Gand, practitioner of ancient religious Findsman vocation. It's a lot of adjectives. He's a bounty hunter and scout. He gains surprisingly accurate information through mystical visions during meditation. And he's force sensitive. What do you know? Okay, that is a pretty great rare pull as well. Awesome. Even though these were only 9-card packs, the fact that they eliminated that tier system and the fact that you get, 3 uncommons and a rare in a pack of 9 means your chances of pulling some decent stuff is actually quite a bit higher with Dagobah onward. So it's actually pretty nice, and part of the reason why this is actually a pretty successful card pull today. All right, last pack. What are we going to pull? Okay, we are looking at another Imperial rare. We'll go ahead and drop that down over here. All right, and then we've got another creature, Bogwing. He's an avian creature. Never tell Han the odds, 3,720 to 1. It's an effect. Quick draw. Deploy on your side of the table. Once during each of your draw phases, you can use 2 force to search your lost pile. Take any 1 blaster you find there and immediately deploy it for free. Awesome. Droid sensor scope. We've seen that one before. R2-D2's retractable arm. Basically gives a droid the thief skill. And then getting into our uncommons, we've got Sudden Impact. Deploy on any effect or Utini effect. During each owner's draw phase, you can, if you occupy an asteroid sector, owner must choose to either lose 1 force or voluntarily cancel that effect or Utini effect. Next uncommon, we've got Warrant Officer Mckay. He's the hard-working Avenger Signal Officer, coordinates and tests tractor beam operations, appraises Executor of his ship's activities, and relays orders from the flagship to his captain. All right, last uncommon is Grounded Starfighter. Deploy on a landed starship, not a docking bay. Starship may not move. If you're saying coming here was a bad idea, I'm beginning to agree with you. All right, so that just leaves our last rare. So unfortunately, it's looking, looks like it's going to be an effect. It is Broken Concentration. Deploy on your side of the table. Apprentices subtract X from Training Destiny, where X equals ability minus Jedi Test number. Also, once per turn, you can use 2 force to move the top card of opponent's force pile to the top of opponent's reserve deck. So as you can see, there's a lot of cards in here around the Jedi Tests. So from this particular pull, we only pulled 2 of the Jedi Tests, but I believe there were 5. I'm going to take advantage of the magic of editing and see if I've got all the other Jedi Tests in my old CCG binders. Okay, so through the magic of editing, I have returned with Jedi Test number 3. There were 5 different Jedi Test cards in the Dagobah set. I only have the first 3 currently. Hopefully I'll be able to pull Tests 4 and 5 at a later time, although right now I'm out of packs. There was also a 6th Jedi Test, but that came out in the Death Star 2 expansion set. So, fun fact. And for those of you guys still watching, just a quick overview of the Jedi training cards. This is a powerful new feature of the light side in this expansion set. You can train characters in the Force using a new card type called Jedi Test. Each time a character completes a new Jedi Test, the light side player gains a new capability that can have far-reaching effects. Completing Jedi Tests can also raise the character's ability. Attempting the Jedi Test in this expansion set involves bringing an apprentice to a mentor on Dagobah and drawing training destiny. Let's just take a closer look at Jedi Test number 1 here. So you deploy the test at a Dagobah site. You target a mentor. Also target or deploy an apprentice here. You attempt the Jedi Test. When the targets are present at the beginning of your control phase, you draw training destiny. If the destiny plus the apprentice's ability is greater than 12, the test is complete. You put this card on the apprentice, and all of the opponent's force drain bonuses everywhere are ignored. So pretty powerful in the grand scheme of the game if you can complete the test, which, drawing destiny greater than 12 isn't really going to be easy. One thing that's cool about this is you just have to have a trainee and a mentor, so presumably it doesn't have to be Luke Skywalker. It could be any character that you want to train in the Force. It actually explains on the bottom of this card, a mentor is one of your character's ability greater than 2, and the apprentice is one of your non-droid, non-Jedi characters of lesser ability than the mentor. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Just a quick overview, we'll take a look at Jedi Test number 2. Basically, this test can't be completed until Jedi Test number 1 has been completed. You have to draw an ability greater than 13. You have to draw Destiny and the Apprentice's ability of greater than 13 in this case. And then the Apprentice is power +1 and can move normally. Total ability of 6 or more is required for opponent to draw Battle Destiny. Alright, and then the third one, which I didn't pull, but I had in my personal collection. And again, in order to complete Jedi Test number 3, you have to have already completed Test number 2. You have to draw Destiny plus the Apprentice's ability of greater than 14 in order to complete the test. And you can subtract 1 from each of your opponent's Destiny draws. So yeah, these are actually, pretty powerful cards. They're just difficult to complete. It's yet another mechanic in a very mechanic-heavy game. But it's cool, like it fits the theme, it feels like Star Wars, and that's a big part of what made the Star Wars CCG so much fun. So just as a quick recap, some of the highlight cards for me, and again, I'm looking for characters, I'm looking for ships, I'm looking for just kind of fun cards. I'm not really thinking that heavily about strategy here, but highlights for sure were the 2 Jedi Test cards that I pulled. Of course, these are both relatively common ones, but it's cool to pull them nonetheless. Another cool pair of cards I pulled, and from the same pack too, which was neat, was the TIE Bomber alongside the Proton Bombs. I thought that was just kind of a serendipitous pull since they go together. I'll throw an honorable mention out to the supporting characters, Lieutenant Venka and Warrant Officer Mckay, although these ones aren't necessarily anything too special. It's just kind of fun to see a little bit of flavor text on these background characters from Empire Strikes Back. And then the real star of the show has to go to these next couple of cards. We did manage to pull the Bounty Hunter Zuckus, a rare card. And then also a rare card, the Capital Superclass Star Destroyer Executor, or Executor, whatever you want to call it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this rip of Star Wars CCG cards. Looking in the rule supplement, it makes it sound like the special edition is the next set to come out. However, looking on Wikipedia, I actually was right and Decipher was wrong. Cloud City is actually going to be next for us. So be sure to stop back again next week for some Cloud City openings. That one's going to be a lot of fun. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great week in games. Thanks for watching.